One Big 12 team just showed us it's serious about winning in the expansion era of the conference, and another said we're okay with settling for less than mediocrity. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from ESPN Central Texas. Thank you for making Locked On Big 12 your first listen every single day. It's a quick, short coaching update today as Houston has announced it will fire Dana Holgorsen. Chris Pesman and company say we want to be serious about our standing in the Big 12 moving forward, and a lackluster 4-8 this season is not going to get it done in the new Big 12. The stark contrast of that is Baylor going 3-9 and announcing that sources, Pete Thamel saying Baylor will retain Dave Aranda as the head coach. Let's start on the Dave Aranda and Baylor side. I'll move into Houston and some possible coaching candidates over there. Houston just got to this league and went 4-8. Baylor has been in the Big 12 for decades and went 3-9, a worse record, a more lackluster season, and said, "Yeah, we can keep doing this. That's all right. Let's stick it out for a second." With a coach who has lost the fan base. People are not showing up to games. People do not care about the games. You're going to lose season ticket holders. You're going to lose faith in an organization, faith in a program. And to me, say it right now, to me, this is a career decision for Mack Rhoades. If Baylor goes 3-9, 4-8 next year, that is the end of the line for Mack Rhoades and his staff. You are betting your job as an athletic director on a coach who was 3-9. You're sticking your neck out to say, okay, we're going to bring him back. We're going to do it. And to me, it's a very unserious thing to do. It shows that Baylor's okay with being so far behind the punch in the new Big 12 that you're just getting walloped week in and week out. And even more so, it says, hey, as an athletic director, I'm going to put my faith and trust in a guy who has not won really anything in the last couple of years. And it's been so bad that recruiting is in the bottom 60 of the country. We're being out recruited by random random group of 5 teams. And we're going to stick with that. And look, there are reported changes coming to the staff or, off the field, that NIL is going to get better for Baylor. Dude, are you going to fire the offensive coordinator who replaced the offensive coordinator that you fired? Are you going to fire the defensive coordinator that replaced the defensive coordinator that you fired? You can't keep firing coordinators as if that's going to be the fix. You know what? We'll fire this guy. We'll fire this guy. We'll fire this. At some point, it's the head coach. You can't just give, that coordinator wasn't a good fit. Otherwise, we would have won. Or this coordinator who I thought would be a good fit for the guy that I already fired. We couldn't win with him, so we're going to fire him. That's not how this goes. At some point, it's the head coach who has to answer for why a team sucks, for why a team is terrible. And now the AD has gone out and said this coach whose team was terrible, whose team sucked, is coming back, despite everything pointing to him not being prepared to be a recruiter, an NIL curator, a transfer portal expert. Dave Aranda cannot do those things. He has proven that to you. You don't need to see anything else. He's proven it to you. And Baylor says, all right, you know what? We're a person over player. We're a culture place. We're good with losing. That's fine. That's good. As long as we just, we got to keep everybody, got to make sure everybody's being nice. We're the biggest Baptist university in the world. Come on, guys. We can lose a little bit because 3-9's fine. We're just going to still be the biggest Baptist university in the world. That's the message you're portraying to fans who are not going to pay to show up to continue to see what Dave Aranda put on the field last season. Then for Houston, it's the opposite. Look, we've been considered a little brother in Texas in the new Big 12 going 4-8. People still think we're a little brother. There needs to be a change. We're not going to wait around to find out whether or not this is going to work out. Baylor's going to wait around to find out whether or not a guy who's under 500 in 4 years is going to work out. That's unserious. Houston says, we've been looked at, we've been scoffed at, but we've had a lot of success in the last decade. We've had head coaches that were poached by much larger programs like A&M, like Texas. We need to go out and find that guy again. Dana Holgorsen out. Now who's in? I think a guy like G.J. Kinney at Texas State would be great. I'm not sure. I know Houston's a Power 5 school now, but I'm not sure Jeff Traylor would immediately jump at the idea of going to Houston if he has other big teams that have their name in the hat or have his name in their hat. I don't think he's going to Texas A&M. I don't think that they would want that. Although if he did, they'd win a whole lot of football games. Maybe there comes a point in a week or two where Houston's on the table, Jeff Traylor's ready for a move to the Power 5, and that's the one that works out the most. The old Gilmer guy stays in Texas. Could see it, but that's you're asking a lot. Jeff Traylor's one of the hottest names in college football right now. Wait and see if he balks at some of the schools that are bigger than Houston who will have coaching vacancies. If he does, and Houston lands Jeff Traylor, that's massive. But maybe even more massive to me, truly, I think maybe even more massive for a Houston, a better fit for a Houston, G.J. Kinney at Texas State. Immediate roster turnover, immediate coaching staff turnover. Everywhere he has gone, he has won. The guy just doesn't lose. He just simply does not lose. He is a Texas high school football legend, or comes from a legendary Texas high school football coaching tree with his father. He's got ties to the Big 12 as a guy whose brother played at Baylor, whose dad's a big Baylor guy, whose family's a big Baylor family. And Baylor not taking the opportunity to hire somebody else or hire him or go anywhere else. You don't have to worry about them possibly poaching a candidate. You go get G.J. Kinney, who just beat the Bears in Waco, and you start beating the Bears in Waco. And I know it's maybe you're sitting at home, you're going, a lot of talk about Baylor here. Yeah, it's a good litmus test. It's a good, as long as Houston stays above Baylor in the new Big 12, that's a mark of success that, hey, we are doing better than a team that's been in this league for decades. If we can beat out at least one of those original Big 12 teams, that's huge. And Baylor seems to be that punching bag that Houston lean on to say, hey, we're better than this school who's been Power 5 for so long. If I'm Houston, G.J. Kinney, I've got him on the phone. Rhett Lashley, if you can make a huge splash, it would be a huge splash just to pull a guy who's going to the ACC away from SMU. It's just a big middle finger to everybody over there and a big middle finger to the ACC, honestly. For Houston, Chris Pesman, you said, we are tired of, this is not it. We are tired of losing, and there's not an experiment here. There's not we give him another year, see what happens. No. We're committed to winning. That's big. For Baylor, it's not a commitment to winning. It's a commitment to maybe this experiment will work out. You had 4 years to confirm your hypothesis. 4 years to confirm your hypothesis. The experiment is over. It didn't work. And you're sticking with a guy who's already fired an OC, who's already fired a DC. He can't keep firing coordinators. At some point, it's him. He can't do NIL. He can't do transfer portal. He can't. He just told you in his last press conference he can't do NIL. He can't be a head coach. He said, I don't feel right giving the quarterback more money than the backup DB. He said, I don't feel right staggering the money. Great. Then you're not fit to be a boss. It's just the way it works. Houston, very serious. Congratulations. You've decided you want to win. Baylor, very unserious. Not surprising, very unserious if you stick with this regime. I think there are a lot of great pieces in the assistant coaching staff as well. I think there are assistant coaches on this staff that would be good head coaches in college football. There's a reason those murmurs exist about a guy like Jeff Grimes. There's a reason Matt Powledge was the DC at Oregon, and your head coach is the one screwing it up. All those guys were good everywhere else. The only thing that's different about this staff is the head coach has never been a head coach before, and he's showing you why he probably just isn't ready to learn a good lesson to go back and be a DC, maybe a head coach in 5 years, but another 3-8 or 3-9 next year, 4-8. Good luck. This has been, it always will be. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Locked on. Dose Grande.